last time I talked through it and you could hear it. So this time I'm just going to wait for her to finish using the litter box in the middle of my show. So professional. Are you done? Okay, as I was saying. What was I saying? Hi everybody, welcome to the show. I'm so excited for today's episode because did you just watch Stephen West's videos about, well, I'm sorry. I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon, and when I woke up this morning, I immediately went to YouTube and watched his videos for the, what do you call it? Twists and Turns, the mystery knit-along for October, the 13th mystery knit-along that we're going to talk about. I'm going to wait and talk about it at the end of the episode like I did before last year for anyone that doesn't want to hear about it or whatever. I'm actually thinking if I do it this year, I'm going to do like a weekly update whenever I finish that section for people that want to, so that I don't put it into my regular thing, and then I'll have a reveal of when it's all done. That's what I'm thinking of doing for people that actually care, and that also might get people who wouldn't normally see me to join me if they see the video. For it'll be a vlog style, so it won't be very long, maybe like 10 minutes for what I thought of that week, and that way I'll keep them separate. But for right now, since it hasn't started, I want to talk about what he went over and what colors I'm thinking, and if I'm thinking of dyeing them or buying them, and we're going to go into all that. So today is episode 92. Welcome for 92 episodes. That seems like a lot to have no viewership yet. So this is August finished projects, and yes, I did finish some finished objects. I finished some objects for this month. Surprise, surprise. I don't have any updates for you. Oh, this is the most ridiculous story of my Nuva ring, if you've been following along, of trying to get my birth control. I'm not even using for birth control. I'm using it to regulate my hormones so my perimenopausal symptoms will lighten up, because I'm having a hard time. Have you hit 45 and everything exploded? Everything got way worse. Wait, like at 35 you think stuff's going downhill, right? And then 45 hits and you're like, bam, and it's like a brick wall. So I don't know what menopause actually does to me. But the way things are going, I might not make it. Oh, it's terrible. So anyway, my condolences if you are also in any of those ranges. So my insurance company sent me a letter and said, hey, we've decided that we're going to cover your birth control. And I was like, great. And they were like, call your pharmacy. Blah, 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 whatever. So I call my pharmacy and I go, yeah. So I just got the letter that, they're going to cover it. So what's my copay going to be? $157 a month for birth control. $157 a month. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Because mind you, I am disabled. I am on disability. I'm trying to live off of like $700 a month for I don't pay any mortgage here. That's all on my husband. I pay part of the utilities and then my own stuff. And I cannot live on $700 a month. It's impossible. So I'm like $157 a month, and I'm like, that's like almost as much as our light bill that I pay. And I'm like, what in the ever-loving, what? And so the pharmacist lady is like, ooh, that's pretty high. Let's check GoodRx. GoodRx, $90. And I'm like, oh my God, that's still a ridiculous amount. $90. How do women spend $90 a month? That's just the copay. That's not including, I have a yearly deductible and I have a monthly, monthly, I forget what you call it. There's a monthly fee. They have special insurance names. I pay monthly for my drug plan. Okay. But I also have an out-of-pocket first. And then my drug plan kicks in. Hey. So I pay monthly for this coverage and have an annual deductible. Is that what it's called? Deductible. So on top of all this, and I have to tell you, it doesn't cover any of the other medications I'm on either. It doesn't cover anything. It doesn't. I just got the thing. Oh wait, I got the thing. I told you about this last month, where it says what the plan paid, what I paid, and what I've year to date. Okay, year to date. Now these are just medicines that have gone through. So this does not include my medications I get that don't go through my insurance. So of ones I've gone through, which I think it covers one, it saves me. Okay, for my Ativan, plan paid 75 cents. 75 cents. I paid $5. So they paid 75 cents and I paid $5 for a drug that costs $5.75. I paid $5. They paid 75 cents. And I pay for this coverage. I pay for this. So this is this the year to date? Year to date total. Ready? Plan has paid so far this year, as we're heading into September. It's September 1st. My plan has paid $3.50. $3.50. I have paid $30. Other payments, $0. I don't know why I pay for this. Because that's not even that doesn't even include my monthly charge that comes out of my disability payment. I don't never see it. It comes right out of my Medicare payment, and my drug coverage payment are taken out of my check before I even get my money. What am I paying? What am I getting? What am I paying for? So anyway, $90 for one Nuva ring because it is still under patent, so there is no generic. It's been around for 20 years. I first tried it 20 years ago when it first came out. Anyway, that's one ring, $90 with the GoodRx, not even with my insurance. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to pay $90? Like $90. And I'm like, I'm trying to pay down my credit card bill. I'm like, there's no more yarn purchases. There's no, my business can go, like $90 a month is enough to break me. That's enough to break me. So I tell her, go ahead and fill it. And my husband comes in. He's like, how much it costs? What's going on? I'm like, well, I explained the whole thing to him, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford $90 a month. Is times that by 12. I don't know how much that is. I'm like, I can't afford to get it. I can't afford to be on it. I don't know what to do. And I was like, maybe I could go back to the patch, and it's gonna kill my skin, but whatever. And he's like, no, you need it. We'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. So my other medication that I'm on, Zofran, which is an anti-nausea drug, which, oh my God, if I could explain to you the nausea I get almost every day. They don't cover that either. Just don't cover it. I think because it's the sublingual, because it starts working in 20 minutes. and then I don't have to swallow it because I have a swallowing thing. So my Ativan, it can dissolve in my mouth. It tastes terrible, but it can dissolve in my mouth. And the Zofran will dissolve in my mouth too. Usually I take them together because the Zofran is really, really sweet. It's like a strawberry flavor almost. I don't know why, if you just have to flavor something, especially like toothpaste, like especially the gritty toothpaste that I get at the dentist, like what adult wants like bubblegum flavor? Can you just have a flavor that is just sweet or sugar or vanilla? Like, can you just do something that's just sweet without another taste, like another taste? Can you just have it sweetened? Because that's all I need is a little bit of sweet just to counteract that bitter, medicine taste. I don't know why this is so hard. Anyway, that's my birth control saga in Ohio, in the U.S. right now, 2022, after the fall of Roe. I don't know how much longer I'm even going to have access to it. I don't know if costs are going to rise. I don't know if there's going to be more hoops I'm going to run to. I don't know if I should try to find a different drug plan. Because the weird thing with Medicare is, I freaking hate this so much. You can call up and say, how much is this going to cost me? And they will tell you, it will cost you 80% of our approved amount. And you go, well, how much is that? And they say, we don't know yet. We don't know if it will be covered. You have to have it done. And then we decide if we cover it or not. And I'm like, so how do I know if I can afford this, being on that I live on $700 a month? How do I know if I'm going to afford this? How could I possibly know if I can afford this? It's ridiculous. So I don't even know if I get with a new plan, if I say, this is a list of the medications I'm on. Do you cover these? What is the copay for these? If they'd even tell me. Because it's like this big freaking secret that no one can ever tell you what you're going to pay, which I don't understand at all. If you're going to go into, and they're like, oh, well, you need it. I'm like, do I though? Maybe I'd rather die than leave my spouse in crippling medical debt. You don't know. You don't know if I want to beat cancer or not. Maybe I'm not up for that fight. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you should just bring me some home hospice nurses and let me fucking off this ride, man. I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this, of how we never get to know what it's going to cost us. And then, do you remember the Denzel Washington movie, John Q, where his son needed like a transplant or something? Was it a heart transplant? Anyway, what year was that? And we're still in the same place. We're still in the same place. We are still in the same place medically. And that was in like the 90s. Was it? Was it? I'll tell you exactly. John Q. Oh, I spelled John wrong. John. 2002. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. Nothing's changed. I could go on for this. I could go on about this for hours. I'm not going to because I'm all worked up and I'm mad. What am I wearing? I'm wearing my finished item. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Whips. Whips. My first whip is the worsted Witchling, which is still not done. So I had to redo the sleeves. I can't try it on because I was stupid. And while I was figuring out what to do with the sleeves, I attached another ball for the body. So now I got 3 balls coming off this thing, and I don't know what the hell is happening. So, this is the one I'm working on. Okay, so I went back and I did another 10 rows here. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Then I did 10 decreases, which brings me to the actual number that it was supposed to be because I added to get 12 inches. So 10 stitches brought me back to her original count, so I just went with that. And then I did even for 20, which brings me to about here. So hopefully when I block it, it'll be long enough. I probably should block it before then, maybe. But anyway, I already started, so after that 20th row, I did a decrease round that went knit 1, knit 2 together all the way around, and that got me from 54 stitches to 36, which is 6 inches, which is what I wanted for my wrist hole. So it'll go like from here on, it'll be, this is twisted rib too. I totally forgot that. I thought it was a knit 2, purl 2. It's not. It's knit 1, purl 1, twisted rib, which is a pain to do. So I get 10 rows, 10 rounds per inch, and I think I'm gonna need like 6 inches. I think it's 6 inches, 5-6 inches, for that to be done. And then after that, I get to finish the body and then do more twisted rib on the body. So needless to say, that did not get finished this month, which is okay. I think having other projects and thinking I was going to get that done in a month was a little well. If I didn't go off script, it probably would have been done. The fact that I changed the sleeves without knowing or how I wanted to change the sleeves is because a lot of days I couldn't work on it because I couldn't make a decision of what to do. And then the other days, on the days I could work on it, I did. And then on the days that I didn't have a decision made, I didn't work on them. Do I look tired? I feel like I look really tired. I am exhausted. Anyway. No one's here for what I look like. I can't do the sleeves tandem now because I only have one set of needles because I'm using 2 16s that are 375s and I only have those 2. So, I got to finish one sleeve and then do the next sleeve and then finish the body and the ribbing on the body. So that's at least 2 weeks. And that's if this sleeve works. I don't know. Do you think I should block it now? Block the sleeve now and see. I don't know what I want to do. Anyway, let's stop talking about that because it's making me anxious. My other whip that is still going is the Alpaca Bonjour. You can see how long it is. And I just ran out of the Surrey. Like literally, I sat down last night in my chair, ready for bed, like ready to knit before I go to bed. And that happened and I was like, because everyone's in bed now and I'm like, I don't want to get my Swift out and, crank this last hank, and then I have to... This might be 50 grams. I have to weigh this at 50 grams and then count how many rows I got and then do the math to see how many I need to leave for the bind off and the ribbing at the bottom because I only use one yarn for the bind off. Even though I'm holding 2 strands the whole time, I don't put that Surrey or I guess it wouldn't matter this time, but I don't put the Surrey or the mohair in the actual bind off because they're not stretchy. And usually I go up a needle size and I'm using wool, so I do Jenny's, is it the one I do? Whatever one works with when you're doing ribbing, that's the one I do. I think it's with the yarn overs. Yeah, you knit, yarn over knit, and then you yarn over purl, yarn over purl, yarn over knit. Depending on what stitcher you work the stitches as you come to them with a yarn over beforehand. I have not tried, I think it's the Icelandic bind off that's supposed to also be stretchy. I like this one and I don't know if I'm willing to. I'll do it on a shawl, but I'm not doing it on one of these that goes over my head. Because if it's not stretchy, I don't want to have to I hate taking out a bind off to redo it. I really, really don't like doing that. This is coming out great. It's very dense, I guess is the word, because we've got alpaca and Surrey held. It's not even much of a halo, is there? But it is very, very soft. Very soft and nice looking. I like it very much. It's got a lot of dog hair on it and cat hair, so. But we're almost done. This should be done next week. This will be done next week. These are my whips. Some days is like coffee the only good thing in your day. Sometimes iced coffee is like the only good thing in my day. It just is. Okay, I'm going to talk about that after. So, finished objects for August is this top. I finished this Tuesday night, and then I blocked it on yesterday. I was going to do my show yesterday, and then I was like, I was not feeling all that great, I think, from the birth control. But it could just be the million other things that are wrong with me. Because it wasn't anything new. It was just worse. It was like having a flare of everything, which is what my body does when I introduce new things to it. So this is my DK knit top, which we will be going over on random pain. Okay, after September Dye Project, which is next month. So next week is September Dye Project, and the week after that will be DK Knit Top. So I'll go over all the stuff you have to do to take. But see, this is going to depend on you having worked out what you need for the worsted top, because that's how I did this. So everything's going to come off the worsted top. So I hope you made one of those. If not, you should probably get to it. Anyway, what do I have to say about this? Yeah, nothing special about it, just normal. I'll stand up so you can see it. Same as all the other ones. Like I said, this is Vitalana Lofty DK in Hydrangea. This is my favorite base, which I talked about last week, how it's my favorite base. I had this much left. And you know, that is a crowning achievement for me, to have that much left after my bind off. There's actually more. There's actually more, because I don't know if you will have noticed this, but when I was first, I think the first time I showed this to you and I was telling you the stitch counts, I realized I had done the wrong size. I had done the numbers for the worsted weight. So one of these, where it starts and then you cut right here, so there's like this little bit of yarn. I could rip out the other one. Actually, just rip back to here, and no, I didn't rip back because they start the same. But anyway, the one I just tossed because there was no way I was gonna get more stitches out of it. So I have that left too. So those will go in my bins of, in case. I like to have a little bit in case I need to make a repair or something, but typically I don't care. Fits good. I really like pairing it with the purple one. And these are even 2 different months and probably different dyers too, I'm gonna wager to guess. And I was wearing the cropped blue under the full purple, so then I just reversed it. I like wearing 2 because it covers more, but so like if I'm going out, I don't feel as exposed as if I'm just wearing 1. Typically I'll wear 1 when I'm just around the house and it's 800 degrees in here and I can't breathe. But I still need something to, I think I want to make a shrug that's like maybe down to here, or maybe all the way, I don't know, maybe all the way, because a lot of places we go has air conditioning and I'm always freezing. So I'm like, if I think I'm doing the half cardi with a different pattern, doing a half cardi for that. That's what I think. Okay, what else? Oh, the other finished thing is the Summer Lace Top by Martina Supova. And I don't know if you remember, but I had a lot of problems doing this pattern because it was horribly written. Horribly written. A lot of things were wrong on it. And even if it is a free pattern, I don't think things should be wrong. Also, for how to lace up the back, there was like nothing. It didn't tell you how far to go. It didn't tell you anything. So it doesn't fit right. And it looks, the picture that is in the pattern is not at all what the pattern reads. It's not, because you can tell, you can count if you make it big enough, because it's a PDF, you can make it as big as you want. So I went through and I counted, and there seemed to be no rhyme or reason to how many rounds there were. So, and this main, the eyelet pattern, which is like the base of the whole thing, needs to be an odd number, and her counts are even. So, no, wrong. And then no way to know how to tie this up, how far to go, what to do. And it doesn't matter because it just becomes this big lump. Just becomes a big lump, and it doesn't go straight. I hate this so much. I love the yarn. I love how the yarn worked up. I hate this so much. You are being terrible today. This is getting frogged, and I will make something else out of it because I had to buy a third skein to finish it, which really made me even more mad, was that I had to buy a third skein when 2 should have been enough. So, what are you doing? I don't recommend that pattern at all. Avoid it at all costs. It was absolutely terrible. And it took forever. And then you have this thing that doesn't even look like it's supposed to. It's not shaped how it's supposed to be shaped. You don't know how to tie it up because there's no directions. So, this was Malabrigo Machita Violin. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. Looks amazing done up. Looks amazing in the skein too. That was when I saw a picture of it in a skein and was like, I need that immediately, and we drove out and to my around the table yarns, and I found it there. I'm pretty sure that's the one I went to. Yeah, because I was like, I don't know if they'll have it. I don't know this place real well. So yeah, Summer Lace Top by Martina Supova. I had to change the beginning chains to foundation rows, first of all, and odd numbers. I think I started with a 1 on the short sides. So maybe me changing that changed the shape, but there was no way to do it as written because the pattern didn't work on even numbers. So I just went, because I think she started with 2. I think hers started with 2, so I just went down to 1. I mean, I could have gone up to 3, I guess, but I thought 1 would be... Because if you have it's chain, skip 1, DC, chain 1, skip 1. That's the repeat. So if you do chain 1, skip 1, DC, and you don't, so that would be the thing on that would be the pattern on even, right? When you come to the next corner, there's not going to be a chain. If you add a chain before your next corner DCs and you don't have a thing to skip, then you're adding a stitch, or you're going to have 3 DCs next to each other instead of having the 2 corner stitches, chain, DC, chain. Do you see what I mean? So there basically was no way to do that pattern as it was written. I don't know what she did to get that, because you go through and you count the rows and they don't line up to her row counts. So I did the best I could. It did not turn out at all, so I would recommend skipping that one, to be honest. Don't do it. So hopefully I can find something to make with this for next summer, because I really, really do love the colors a whole lot. And that's 3 skeins now, so I could pretty much do anything. Okay, so that's August finished objects, of which we have 2 and 2 unfinished. Well, no, one was for last month. See, we only planned this month to have a sweater, the cowl, the Bonjour, and this top. So how could I not get those 3 done in a month? I don't know. I don't know how I didn't get those done. Like, am I just... She's biting a wicker table leg now. Can you stop? What is wrong with you? Stop it, Bree. Stop. Go play with something else. So I don't know if I'm... This never happens. It's very rare that I don't get things done on time. I know last week I didn't realize I only had 1 week left. That I had 2 weeks. I thought, okay, I could probably get these done in 2 weeks. Anyway, I'm going to do the sweater during the day, and probably early evening too, since it's just twisted rib in the round. It's very easy. And then at night, before bed, I'll do the Bonjour, and we should have that done by next week. I am hoping to have the sweater done by next week, but I'm not sure now. And so that is leading me to, I'm not sure if what I have planned for this month is too much or not. Because we have a bulky v-neck sweater, which again doesn't have a pattern. Well, it mostly has that nutmeg pattern. Nutmeg sweater by Jennifer Stark. That is free. Is that her name? Stark? For free. Which is probably where I'm going to take my stitch counts from, even though I'm going to make it a v-neck. So that actually might not be that hard, since I will have stitch counts. I love the fit of that sweater, except for that it doesn't have a v-neck. So I think if I made it into a v-neck, it would be perfect. It would be absolutely perfect for me. And if that's perfect, then I can use that to do everything, because this Witchling is not perfect at all. And I don't plan to use the pattern again ever. What else do we have? Oh, a DK knit top. And then the burdock shawl. Right, that's our dye project this month. Next week is the burdock shawl, which I'm still leaning towards the purple. I'm still leaning towards purple, and nobody left a comment saying they didn't want purple, so I think I'm just going to do purple. She's being terrible today. Do you see Torm right there sleeping like he's had enough of her? Like, no. Can you take care of your cat, please? Hey, Torm, this your cat? No, I'm sleeping. We don't care. Okay, so shall we talk about the famous, what was I going to call him? The famous Stephen West. The famous Stephen West. Okay, so I watched both of his things. I did not watch all of the second one. I watched the first one where he talked all about the MKAL, and then the second one where he was going through colors for it. I was like, no, because none of them are goth colors. There were a lot of grays. I saw a lot of grays, and I was like, oh, that's stealing my idea. So I was a little upset with that, but that's okay. So what has he said? Okay, Stephen West, MKAL 2022 is called Twists and Turns. If you have not watched his videos, I very much tell you stop watching me right now and go watch them and then come back. So the kits launch Saturday, September 3rd, which if you're watching this on the day it comes out Friday, it's tomorrow, or maybe today if you're watching on Saturday. Oh my god, my chair is breaking. So signups also start that day, where I guess you get the beginning of the I don't remember what he said was in the like swatches or something. He did say you need a cable needle, and I've never done cables before, but I'm not scared of cables, and I think if I'm gonna learn cables, I think the famous Stephen West is the person to learn from, because he's gonna have a video for you. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll learn cables. Like, I don't even think I'm on the fence of whether or not I'm going to do this, because it is going to mess up my whole October. It is going to mess up all of October for me. Like, very significantly mess up my October. To where I don't know what I'll actually be able to get done. Because I remember that being quite laborious, especially at the end of the month. At the end of the month, it was hard getting. Oh, I have shawlography from last year. So I remember, especially by the this awful this. I was saying, who was it? I don't remember who it was on Instagram, and she was like, "Welp," she still hadn't finished her border. Oh, it's so funny. So I wanted to talk to you about what colors I'm considering, because he says you need 3 colors, which I was like, oh, remember I was telling you maybe I only want to do 2 colors. So this is 2 colors, but with an accent color. So I'm like, maybe I do want to do this. He says 2 skeins of your main color, 2 skeins of a contrasting color, and then 1 skein of an accent color. So you only need 5. You need 5 skeins. Isn't that what we needed last time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 colors last time. So it's the same, only less busy. So I was trying to figure out what colors I wanted, and I thought for sure I would like this black and this gray. I thought for sure black and this dark gray. And then I was leaning towards this burgundy. Since it's only 3 colors, I was looking at greens, I was looking at pinks, I was looking at purples, and I'm like, if I do those, I can do those together for another when we have to have a million colors, right? I'm like, I can do pink, purple, and green in a colorway that would be fine. It would be fine, because whether they have to be high contrast or low contrast or coordinating, I could do that, within the colors I want. So I just took a screenshot of the ones I was thinking of to keep in mind for next year. So I like these 2, this gray and this black, and then this burgundy color. And then I was thinking, well, if you're going to do something that easy, I am a yarn dyer. Like, I know what I'm doing. We could just do this. Should we do it ourselves? What do you think? So then I had another idea. Because I love, why am I so itchy? I'm so itchy right here. I have bug bites all over. I have a bug bite on my ear right here. Oh my God, I feel a bump right there. I probably got bit. I have a bug bite here on my thing. I got a bug right here. And then I just found one. Oh, right here. And I have one on my thigh too. Like, oh, do you see it now? Oh, I see it popping up right in here. It's right here. Oh. It sucks. Okay, try to not notice the red mark I just put on my head. So that means I have a couple bases, and this is the one that I'm leaning toward. Oh, well, my other idea was, because I love Cascade Heritage, so I love Cascade Heritage. It's so soft. That's what I made this out of, and it is so, oh my God, it's so soft, you guys. It's so squishy and soft. I love it. So I was thinking of doing those 3 colors, but then I was like, what if I went with heathered colors? What if I went with like 2 heathered grays and like a heathered pinky purple? And that was my idea. Only from their website, they don't tell you which ones are heathered. And on the website, this one, which is called Forged Iron, looked heathered. And I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, this is not heathered. The charcoal, the color charcoal is heathered. So I was like, we'll do charcoal and another gray and then find a heathered pinky purple to do it. And so since I couldn't even like find a list that someone else had made of which ones are heathered. So I went on Knitpicks again. There was one I found. It came in 50-gram balls. I know that. And it did say which ones were heathered. And I like Knitpicks because they actually, when you click on the color, they give you a close-up picture, and then they like describe the color to you. And that's really helpful when you're looking for undertones, and then they might even suggest colors that go with it. However, they seemed really low in stock, and they did not have a lot of colors, and so there was one gray called Asphalt Heather, and I think there was another gray heather, but it was very, very white, and I did not want that much contrast between my grays. I wanted them a little closer, because I thought the heathering would bring more contrast, so I could have less contrast in the colors, and then the heathering might bring me contrast. That's what I was going for. I'm also thinking of looking at Valley Yarns, because I did not look at their stuff, because this has all been stuff I've been doing this morning. Look at Valley Yarns and see what they have. I don't buy from Knitpicks a lot because I think they're too expensive for what they give you. And I can get Cascade for cheaper. And it's basically the same thing. So I really do want to go with Cascade Heritage because it is so soft. If I'm not going to dye it myself, I really want to do Cascade Heritage. But none of my local stores carry it. They don't carry Cascade Heather or Cascade Heritage. And they certainly don't carry them in all the colors because I'm going to want the dark colors, and they never come with the dark colors. So I can't tell if they're heathered or not. And I was like, oh, let's do this heathered. I can't dye heathered yarns. So if you know of a fingering weight yarn that has heathered colors, specifically 2 different grays and a pinky purples, please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me. Because if not, this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan. I have 3 bases that I have enough to do this. One is Platinum Sock, which I like. It's a great yarn. My big beef with it is it's not very soft. It's like a workhorse yarn. It's 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. It takes color like an absolute dream. It will give you really bright colors. Again, I'm goth girl TM, don't need that. But your colors will stick and they will be exactly what you want them to be. I've never had a surprise on Platinum Sock, ever. I have 20 of them, which is why I'm saying maybe I'll make them this in Platinum Sock, because I have 20 skeins. I have 2 bags. The other thing I have is Alpaca Gold. These are both from Wool to Die For. Alpaca Gold is 60% superwash merino, 20% superfine alpaca, and 20% nylon. Okay, it's a merino alpaca blend with nylon. So I was going to make a sweater out of this. Which is fine. I've touched this, not this particular one isn't open. I have not dyed with this yet, but because it's 60% superwash and 20% nylon, I know how that part is going to take up the yarn, or take up the dye. So I think this is just like Platinum Sock, only it's going to be, with that 20% of nylon, it's going to be softer, just like the 80-10-10 cashmere makes it, that 10% of cashmere makes it softer. So I'm feeling this is like an in-between, which what I have here is luxury yarn. Now this is from Yarn Undyed, I think. It does not say. Yes, it does. AC Wood, Yarn Undyed. Yarn Undyed. This is Alps CA4H. 4/16 NM. I don't know what that means. Is that how thin it is? 4/16 something. 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. Which I think also to make a really soft shawl. I have 13 skeins of this, so I will still get sweater out of this. These are 100 gram hanks, 400 meters. What is that? Is that like 430 something in yards? Let me see. So 400 meters. Yeah, 437. So it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same yardage of, I think even that Heritage is 437. So they are all the same yardage. They're all basically the same size. I only have 10 of the Alpaca Golds, which if it takes 3 for a sweater, that means I could get 3 sweaters and like 1 shawl. One skein shawl out of 10. Actually, this is going to be a base that I used in my shop, but no one buys my stuff. So I'm kind of leaning towards this because it's got 5 in a pack. It's like, but then it would be this. It would be this. Black, gray, burgundy. But I'm still stuck on that 2 grays and a purpley pink or pinky purple in heathered yarn. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a pain. But I have all of those colors I've already done on Platinum Sock. I have not done them on any type of alpaca base. So the only unknown there would be how the alpaca would take it and I would do a smaller, or a weaker depth of shade. So if I got like a 1% on the platinum stock, I would probably do like a 0.5% on the alpaca, just to make sure I don't get it too dark. Because remember, you can't take dye away, but you can add more. So that's my plan if I do dye it. We have a whole month to decide. So I have a whole month to find these colors in my head that I'm seeing in my head. I'm seeing them in my head. I'm seeing like these two grays. And like a pinky purple. Because shawls get worn up by my face, and I have pink undertones, so pinky colors look better. But if I'm going to go with just 3 colors, I'd like to go with burgundy, because burgundy doesn't really go with anything else. Burgundy you can't pair with pink or green or purple, or blue. And I mean, I could do blue, but I'm doing black, so I wouldn't put it with blue if I'm also going to put it with black. I also don't really like blue, so I'm kind of limited to what colors. I kind of put green out because I don't like to wear green next to my face that often. And I already have plenty of black and green things planned that I don't want to just do green. I do like teal, but we use teal in this, and it's a pretty prominent color. I think all you really see in this is, I think the teal pops out. If you see the very beginning of this, yeah, see these two, the gray and the red, how like not very, yeah, they are pretty close to each other dye wise. The dark gray, what is it? Forged Iron and Wine are the names of the colors. They're pretty like the same type of saturation, I guess. And then the black is really black. So my first instinct was to do black gray and like a light grayish white for the accent. And then Patrick was like, well, how much accent is it going to be? You're going to have like a whole part that's white? Because I won't like it if it's got a whole part that's white. And then I was thinking, well, pink. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I really like some of the pinkies and the purples. But I'm like, I could put those together in the same shawl. So maybe next time. But I was like, this time if there's only need one color, because black and grays really aren't colors. If I really only need one color, I could do burgundy wine with this. I don't know if I would do this wine or if I would do the burgundy, because there's a darker one called burgundy, but this I think really matches the Forged Iron very well. I think these 3 together just look good. I think that's a good, and I already know what they look like together, and they're both, contrasty. But I'm still thinking I could buy those, but then I'm like, what should I? So I have 3 options. I can buy the Heritage that I bought for shawlography. Do that. I can dye them in one of these alpacas. I can do alpaca silk cashmere, which sounds very nice. Or I can find 2 heathered grays and a heathered pinky purple, which is where my heart is saying I want to be for that one. I want the heathers, because I don't use heathers a lot. And now I'm like, could I find heathers? I don't know. So that's where I'm at. Where are you at? Are you as excited as I? And we don't even know what shape it's going to be. We won't know the shape until... This is why I don't know if I want to do it. Because if it's like... I'm trying to think of like what shape it could be that I would absolutely hate and be like, I'm not doing this. And if it's like a rectangle shape, I would probably be like, I don't want to do this. And if it was one of those modular things, I definitely don't want to do it. So I'm really thinking of waiting till the first one comes out. Were the videos public? I mean, I can always wait till people release their first things so I get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I don't know why people are always want to know if there's going to be brioche in it or not. Like, I don't understand what people have against brioche. I love brioche. Like, why do you hate this? It's my favorite. You know what I hate? I hate stripes. And there's always stripes. Always stripes. And I hate stripes. I don't know. I'm still on the fence of whether I'm going to do it or not. I'm going to have to write down all of my ideas so I don't forget about them. So anyway, if I do this, it's going to really screw up next month, what I have planned for October. Because that means the shawl I have planned for October is not getting done, which is fine. Because it wasn't like that important of one. It's not the one it's not the actual yarn that I showed you. Like the one yarn I showed you for planning fall, I already moved that project back to winter. I was like, oh wait, I forgot I wanted to get this thing done. So it was between that shawl or the burdock for this month, and I chose the burdock because that's also dye project, and I was like, oh, two birds, right? So next week will be dye project, and you'll see the finished burdock. I was going to do the DK top, and maybe I should because I'm still making a DK top. Maybe I should just get that done and out there and show you guys the math for that. Which I mean, it is way easy if you've already done. Because what I did was I made a worsted and the DK at the same time. I made them so before they, like, as I was working on them, before they were blocked, I could hold them up to each other and see, like, how close they were while they were being worked. I don't know if I should do that now or wait till, like, the spring, because I'm going to have more of them to do in the spring. I got those cotton ones to do in the spring. The cotton, more of this base to do in the spring. I might wait, is all I'm saying. I might wait. I feel like it's a lot of work for me to tell you how to do that when no one's actually doing it. So it seems kind of like a waste for me to put all that effort into it, especially in a month where I am not feeling very well. My brain's a little fuzzy. My body's in a lot of pain. So I think I might wait and just take it easy as much as I can through what I'm hoping this is just me adjusting to the hormones. Let's hope, right? I don't know. I hope so. So let's focus instead on twists and turns in the famous Stephen West and figure out what we're going to do. Because I also have for October a sweater and a shawl and a top planned. That shawl is sport weight. And it's a Stephen West shawl. It's a Stephen West shawl in sport weight. A DK top. Is that one? Yeah, that one was DK. DK top. And a sweater. I don't remember which sweater off the top of my... Oh, yes, I do. I remember which sweater. Which I think was going to be alpaca and cerise. Oh, no. I remember what I was going to do. Oh, I'll remember. I'll remember what I'm doing. Yes, I do. Happy about it. Happy. I feel like there was a technique. Oh, yes, the twisty technique that I wanted to do. Yes, I'm remembering now what I wanted to do with the sweater. Very cool dye technique for October if it isn't the famous Stephen West MKAL. I had a great October planned. Maybe I should just do it if I can find the heathered that I like and not do it if I don't. Or do the Cascade Heritage. It feels weird to buy yarn when I have a ton of yarn. Bare yarn. And a bunch of dyes. Well, not a bunch because I use I use not primary colors. I use CMYK to make my colors. So, which is essentially primary colors. Or something like that. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about, but I do use CMYK because it's easier. So, next week, dye project. Burdock shawl. Purple, maybe. Let me know what you're considering for your colors for shawlography, and if you know of a heathered fingering yarns that come in grays and pinky purples. I'm going to try yarn, or Valley Yarns, which is webs, right? Because I can't tell on the Cascade which ones are heathered, and I need something that's either going to tell me it's heathered or give me a picture so I can really tell it's heathered. Because this Cascade, no matter where you go, the pictures are weird and you can't tell. Anyway. I hope you're not in Jackson, Mississippi, because you have no water, and I feel very, very bad for you, and this should not be happening in 2022. We should have governments that provide us with clean drinking water, and this is an absolute travesty. Okay, I'm out of here. I got stuff to do, like take a nap. I'm so tired. The hormones make you tired. I'm not sleeping anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully, by next month, I'll have considered what I'll have decided what I'm doing. I get what's the word? Paralyzed when I have to make a decision and I have too many options. Like if you're just like, do you want this or this? I can usually make a decision if I only have two choices. But if I have more than that, then I get overwhelmed because maybe I have different reasons for liking everything and I don't necessarily like one idea better than the other, but it just might fit something better than something else fits it. And really it comes down to I just want everything to be black. I just want everything to be black. I really, really do. Is that awful? I want everything. I just do. I want everything to be black. But I'm thinking since there's only 3 colors, we could have more, tonal. We could have tonal, or he said not to go speckled or variegated. So I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Okay. Come back next week for September Dye Project. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.